Hello, welcome to the Tim Booker channel. Wishing everyone an enjoyable listening experience. Today, the book I'll be interpreting for you is called Cognitive Surplus. It discusses how the emergence of the internet has brought about changes in people's time allocation and collaboration methods. From the steam engine to the internet, advancements in technology have reduced people's working hours, allowing them to have more free time at their disposal. However, the question arises of how to make the most of this newfound freedom. If you possess unique talents and are willing to use your free time to share knowledge with others, then your free time becomes a societal resource, which the book refers to as cognitive surplus. Many people might feel like they are constantly busy with work and have little free time. However, in reality, most of our free time is unconsciously consumed. For instance, Americans spend around 2,000 hours per year watching television, while contributing to writing a Wikipedia article takes only 1 hour. This means that if every American contributed their TV watching time, they could collectively write 2,000 Wikipedia articles in a year. Hence, cognitive surplus is a significant resource that should not be ignored. For each of us, understanding how to utilize cognitive surplus can enhance the value of our free time. Additionally, entrepreneurs who consider investing money to buy people or traffic might also want to consider leveraging cognitive surplus to achieve more with less effort. The author of this book, Clay Shirky, is an American writer and consultant specializing in internet technology and social network research. He has authored numerous columns for prominent media outlets like the New York Times, the Wall Street Journal, Business Review, and Wired. He has provided consulting services to various enterprises, including Microsoft, GE, BBC, McGraw-Hill, and the U.S. Navy. Shirky's expertise lies in researching the impact of the network economy on the social economy, earning him the title of one of the greatest thinkers of the Internet revolution. We are aware of the booming sharing economy today, and cognitive surplus lays the theoretical foundation for this phenomenon, helping us better comprehend Internet tools and how they will shape new social organizational models and economic rules. The book introduces the basic concepts and provides an overview of the author. Now, I'll delve into the detailed contents of the book, which are divided into 3 key sections. First, we'll explore the fundamental conditions that lead to cognitive surplus. Then, I'll introduce how to utilize cognitive surplus to build network sharing communities. Lastly, I'll discuss the noteworthy opportunities and challenges brought about by sharing and decentralized collaboration in terms of business models, enterprise promotion, and individual development. Part 1. First, let's talk about the fundamental conditions that lead to cognitive surplus, which is how to encourage people to willingly devote their free time to providing services. You might think this is impossible because, according to the principles of traditional economics, a person would not be willing to spend time and effort to serve the public without any economic return since it doesn't align with their individual optimal decision-making. However, you may not be aware that the basic assumption of traditional economics considers individuals as completely self-reliant entities. It assumes that everything a person does is for economic gain, which the book refers to as extrinsic motivation. In reality, people have intrinsic motivation, meaning they do things not just for external rewards but also for internal satisfaction. The book provides an interesting example to illustrate the impact of intrinsic motivation on people's behavior. In an Israeli kindergarten, late-picking parents were fined to encourage them to arrive on time. Surprisingly, a month later, the number of late parents tripled. Psychologists discovered that before the introduction of fines, parents arrived early out of a sense of apology to the teachers, driven by intrinsic motivation. However, once fines were imposed, the interaction between parents and teachers became a naked financial transaction, and the intrinsic motivation vanished. This shows that intrinsic motivation not only exists but also has a stronger influence on a person's behavior than extrinsic motivation. So, what are the primary sources of intrinsic motivation? Specifically, people's intrinsic motivation for doing things mainly stems from 2 factors, passion and recognition. For example, the book mentions the case of young skateboarders who organize a skateboarding league during their free time. They exchange ideas and skills, transforming skateboarding from a children's toy into a competitive sport with its own culture, clothing, and music. These individuals engage in this activity purely out of their passion for skateboarding. Similar examples can be found in various book clubs, subtitling groups, etc. Their existence proves that when a person loves something, they are willing to invest their free time in it. Similarly, gaining a sense of recognition is another significant intrinsic motivator for people's actions. When a person shares their knowledge and skills, allowing others to understand and appreciate their abilities, they experience a sense of satisfaction. Therefore, users indeed have an intrinsic motivation to selflessly contribute their free time, which is a crucial condition for transforming free time into cognitive surplus. The second important condition for the emergence of cognitive surplus is the existence of the Internet, which enables information to flow bidirectionally between any network nodes. Before the advent of the Internet, information flow relied on traditional media like television, radio, and newspapers, all of which had one common feature: one-way broadcasting. Users were passive receivers of content. However, with the arrival of the Internet, information flow transformed from one-way to two-way. Users became both consumers and producers of content. Moreover, the entire Internet operates on an open architecture, not belonging to any particular company or institution. Whether you are the CEO of Google or an ordinary student, you can interact equally on the Internet. It is this open and equal interactive tool provided by the Internet that allows individuals and organizations to communicate across time and space. With the continuous development of Internet tools, we can now be online in real time at any time and any place. Back in the 1990s, if we wanted to access the Internet in China, we had to dial up with bulky modems. The Internet speed was usually only a few kilobytes, and opening a web page took minutes. Now, with the popularity of smartphones and tablets, we can stay online anytime and anywhere. Well-known mobile communication tools like WhatsApp and Facebook have changed the way people connect. Contacting someone is no longer about making a phone call, it's about adding them on WhatsApp or Facebook. Through these mobile tools, we can communicate and interact with individuals or groups in real time. Therefore, the Internet has seamlessly integrated into our lives, allowing us to communicate and interact with others anytime and anywhere, making use of fragmented time, such as waiting for transportation or eating meals. The continuous development of Internet tools has also enabled everyone to produce content during their free time without feeling burdened. This has paved the way for transforming free time into cognitive surplus. Therefore, the reason why free time can be transformed into cognitive surplus and become a resource lies in these two fulfilled conditions: the existence of intrinsic motivation among people and the advent of collaborative Internet tools. However, to encourage a group of people to continuously contribute their cognitive surplus, a collaboration mechanism needs to be designed. Just like planting a tree requires soil and seeds, but for the tree to thrive, it needs an entire ecosystem. This ecosystem is called a network sharing community. In an excellent network sharing community, service providers can continuously contribute high-quality services, which are delivered promptly to consumers in need. Part 2, now let's discuss the 4 key points to consider when building a network sharing community. The first key point is to ensure the usefulness of the community's services through early small-scale trials. For a network sharing community to succeed, it must first ensure that the services it provides are useful. Useful here means that the services meet users' essential needs. If the services cater to pseudo-demands, the community will struggle to sustain itself. There are examples of failures due to choosing the wrong services. In 2009, a U.S. company called Naker provided a shared power drill platform for neighbors. The founders of the company chose shared power drills because they found that on average, a power drill is only used by a household for 12 to 15 minutes during its lifespan. Considering that households need a hole in the wall, not the power drill itself, they built the shared power drill platform. However, by 2015, Naker had only 40,000 registered users, with less than 10,000 active users, far from their initial target. The failure of Naker was because they overestimated the necessity of shared power drills. Although sharing power drills seemed useful in theory, renting a drill did not save users much money and required more time. Consequently, people preferred to buy their own power drills or simply use a screwdriver to make holes. So, how can we ensure that the services provided by the community are useful? The author emphasizes starting small, meaning conducting small-scale trials in the initial stage to verify whether the services truly meet essential needs. Just like how Facebook started at universities and gradually discovered that people had demands for it, it has now become a global social platform, and their subsequent development became more confident. Therefore, providing useful services is the foundation for a community's successful operation. The second key point is to establish a feedback mechanism to incentivize service providers to continue providing services. We all have the feeling that occasionally doing volunteer work is easy, but if you have to do it every week, very few people can persist. Similarly, although people can share their cognitive surplus through the internet, the process is full of uncertainty since customers can choose not to share. We can't force customers to contribute. To solve this problem, the community needs to design a feedback mechanism to cater to users' intrinsic motivation and ensure the continuity of community services. The author calls this mechanism opportunity guidance behavior, which means rewarding users' intrinsic motivation to guide their continuous actions. As discussed before, intrinsic motivation includes passion for something and the pursuit of recognition. Therefore, by satisfying their need for self-fulfillment, we can guide them to provide continuous service. Let's take the example of live streaming platforms to see how they design feedback mechanisms. To encourage streamers to continuously deliver excellent performances, live streaming platforms usually provide two feedback mechanisms. The first is a direct feedback mechanism, where viewers can gift rewards based on the streamer's performance. The second mechanism is displaying the number of followers on the streamer's page. The growth of followers serves as a long-term incentive for streamers. The more they stream, the more satisfying the feeling of accomplishment they get, and the more successful the platform becomes. The third key point to consider when building a network sharing community is to provide high-quality services to consumers quickly through service quality management. To retain users, a community must consistently offer the best service experience. In the initial stage of community operation, with a small scale and fewer services, ensuring service quality can be achieved through provider selection. For example, Discord initially used an invitation-based registration system. However, as the number of service providers increases, each person's level will inevitably differ. The proportion of high-quality services will decrease over time, and if not controlled, this could lead to the "bad money drives out good money" phenomenon. As a result, consumers will find it challenging to efficiently access high-quality services and may leave the community. Thus, managing service quality is essential to retain consumers. There are two primary methods of quality management. The first is for the platform to conduct provider screening by setting high thresholds to ensure that only top-notch service providers are part of the community. The second method is by collecting user evaluations for screening. For instance, Quora uses the number of upvotes as an important criterion for rating answers. Good answers are prioritized in user display. If several providers offer similar services, the platform can recommend them based on users' individual needs or preferences, reducing their selection costs. Taking Uber as an example, it is a popular ride-hailing app that many people use daily. Although Uber allows any driver to register on its platform, it uses an algorithm to allocate services. The algorithm assigns orders to drivers based on location and convenience for users at that moment. This ensures that users always receive the most convenient and highest quality service. The fourth key point is to build a community culture that enables the community to operate healthily on its own. For a community, its culture is like its character. This culture can attract outstanding talents to join the community voluntarily, truly achieving spontaneous order. The author uses the example of managing train carriages to illustrate that forming a culture can reduce operational costs. Many American companies have designated quiet carriages on trains, where talking loudly, playing music, and making phone calls are not allowed. Interestingly, if anyone disrupts the quiet environment, such as answering a phone call, other passengers will actively step in and intervene. The reason why they dare to do this is that they have support. They believe that if conflicts arise, the conductors will back them up and enforce the rules. This significantly reduces the operational cost of the train and gradually creates a brand effect. In summary, we have introduced the 4 key points to consider when building a network sharing community, including community positioning, user incentives, content management, and cultural development. Although cognitive surplus exists, it cannot be easily utilized. Only by grasping these 4 key points can cognitive surplus be turned from theory into practical operational solutions. With the increasing richness of internet tools and people's higher education levels, network sharing communities will become an important part of our lives. Instead of being centered around fixed organizations, individuals will collaborate freely within network communities, showcasing their abilities equally. This decentralized collaboration based on the internet is known as decentralized collaboration. Next, we will discuss shared culture and decentralized collaboration forms, focusing on the opportunities and challenges they bring to business models, corporate promotion, and personal development. Part 3. Firstly, decentralized collaboration will disrupt the traditional three-party model of workers, sellers, and consumers in the business model, making the marginal cost of service provision approach zero. When we look at human history, we can observe a major shift from an agricultural society to an industrial society, where farmers moved from their individual fields to centralized factories to lower communication costs, increase collaboration efficiency, and produce more products. However, with the development of the internet and technology, collaboration can now happen without centralization, at low cost and high efficiency. For instance, when this book was published in 2011, it used Wikipedia as an example to demonstrate how intellectuals worldwide can collaboratively edit documents in a decentralized manner. Just 3 years later, Local Motors, based in Phoenix, even adopted collaboration to design and manufacture cars. 150,000 car enthusiasts contributed design proposals for a rally car, and these designs were produced in various microfactories scattered across the United States, using 3D printing and other technologies. In just a few years, the decentralized collaboration emphasized by the author has evolved from a limited number of cases into a new production model. Almost everything, from knowledge to products, from software to hardware, can now be produced through decentralized collaboration. Consequently, the emergence of decentralized collaboration breaks the traditional three-party model of workers, sellers, and consumers in industrial society, and producers can also be sellers and consumers. This leads to the prospect of marginal costs of future services approaching zero. In addition, decentralized collaboration offers a benefit to businesses. When utilizing new media effectively, it can enhance promotional effectiveness. The Internet's presence allows information flow to no longer revolve around traditional media alone. New Internet media, represented by Twitter and Facebook, will increasingly influence public opinion. In the future, if companies want effective promotion, they must make good use of new media resources. For example, the founder of Hill, Wang Ziru, initially gained millions of views on each of his product review videos on YouTube. Most of his viewers were electronics enthusiasts, and his influence on electronic products was even greater than that of mainstream media. Therefore, if a company can utilize suitable new media for promotion, it can achieve significant results with minimal expenses. Lastly, for individuals, having multiple identities will become a norm in the workplace. The emergence of decentralized collaboration lowers the threshold for joining an organization infinitely. A person can play different roles at different times. For instance, during the day, one can be a corporate employee, a writer at night, and a lecturer on weekends. Therefore, one's knowledge and skills can be contributed to corresponding platforms, and individual abilities will be fully explored and shared. In 2010, when the author wrote this book, online task collaboration platforms had recently emerged, with limited types of tasks. However, in the past 5 years, these platforms have experienced explosive growth in business types and membership size. Everyone can offer services based on their time and abilities and receive remuneration upon acceptance. As the Internet provides opportunities for everyone to showcase their talents, having multiple identities will become a norm for capable individuals in the workplace. Now, we have covered the content for today. Let's take a look at what we have learned from this book. Firstly, we understand that with the development of Internet tools, the cost of sharing and collaboration has significantly reduced. People's free time can be fully utilized, becoming a resource known as cognitive surplus. However, to sustain continuous contributions of cognitive surplus, relying solely on intrinsic motivation is insufficient. It requires building network sharing communities with well-designed collaboration mechanisms. Next, we discussed the 4 key points to consider when building online communities. The first point is to ensure the services provided by the community are useful through trial and error. The second point is to establish feedback mechanisms to guarantee service continuity. The third point is to ensure users receive the best service experience through quality control. Lastly, creating a community culture is essential for its healthy self-operation. It can be said that only by addressing these 4 points can cognitive surplus be turned from theory into practical operational plans. Furthermore, we introduced the concept of shared culture and decentralized collaboration. These new production models disrupt the traditional three-party model of producers, sellers, and consumers in business processes, leading to marginal costs of service provision approaching zero. In terms of company promotion, precise marketing through new media and online communities will replace traditional media as a significant channel. For individuals, the norm will shift to survival through multiple organizations. Dependency on a specific organization will no longer be the case. The book emphasizes decentralized collaboration as a future trend due to the cognitive surplus theory and the growing popularity of decentralization and sharing concepts in recent years. Many entrepreneurs believe that shared communities will become the primary organizational form in the future. However, in reality, decentralized collaboration does not mean abandoning users. On the contrary, it requires more top-level considerations, such as product quality control and efficiency assessment, to achieve effective collaboration. Instead of emphasizing decentralized collaboration as a trend, it is more appropriate to view it as a new collaboration model brought about by the development of the Internet. For a considerable period, centralized and decentralized organizational structures will coexist. So, do not blindly trust so-called trends. Congratulations, you've completed another book. Thank you for your support and attention. Please subscribe to the Tim Booker channel to listen to more audiobooks. Like and share with your family and friends, as wisdom is worth spreading. Click the notification button to be the first to experience new knowledge, critical thinking, and the power of wisdom to open up a bright future. Thank you, goodbye.